Hi guys! Today I'm going to be talking about Pretty Little Liars Season 7, which is about to start on Tuesday. Now, in my head I had planned on making a reacting to the promo video, which I apparently never did. So now I just thought, since the show is starting back on Tuesday and I am going to be watching it, something I will explain the fact that I felt the need to say that in a minute. And so in preparation for that, I figured I would just talk about some of my hopes for the season. So if you've watched my channel for a while, you may have noticed that my Pretty Little Liars reviews, which I did all the way through season 6A, and I reacted to the finale of 5. I binge watched Pretty Little Liars. If this is my first PLL video that you've ever watched, I binge watched the show at the beginning of last year, so it was the start of 2015, which is actually really scary when I think about that. But I binge watched the whole thing on Netflix between like February and March. It was really terrible, classic binge watching situation. And I watched the whole thing and I absolutely loved it, and I thought it was one of the most addictive, I mean a lot of it's ridiculous, but addictive shows that I'd watched in a very long time, and I thought it was incredible. So I then started making review videos and I reviewed the season 5 finale and then all of 6A. And then I started reviewing 6B, and you may or may not have noticed that those reviews kind of trailed off after about 3 or 4 episodes and I didn't do any more. Now, the reason for this is that I am someone who kind of, for the most part, I think it's always very good to have constructive criticism and, you know, talk honestly about your opinions on things. But when it comes to it, I kind of feel like if you can't say anything nice, then you shouldn't say anything at all. And I just felt like my first couple of reviews, I felt like the first episode of 6B was quite good and I feel like I reviewed it quite positively. And then as it went on, it just, I don't even really know where to begin with my thoughts and feelings of 6B. It's one of the most disappointing to me things that I think I've ever watched, other than like the Dexter finale, which is up there with my most disappointing TV endings of all time. I just thought that, I just don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. It's as if they brought in a whole new team of writers who knew nothing about the characters and knew nothing about the friendships between the girls and didn't understand the tone of the show. Everything felt off. One of the major things that really bothered me about it was the fact that I felt like from the very beginning of the show right up until 6A, the show was incredibly creepy, and it's something that I think that people who didn't watch the show might not give it credit for, is how genuinely unnerving it is, and how for, you know, I think a lot of people look at it and go, oh, high school drama, teen girls situation, and don't really know how properly creepy it can be and how it can totally get under your skin. And I think especially if you binge watch it, it's one of these things that like seeps into your dreams and makes you feel really uncomfortable. But I loved that about it. I thought it was so cleverly done that it made you feel so on edge the whole time. And 6B was just laughable. It was like pantomime villain drama, like that scene in the finale of 6 where you're finding out that it's Mary Drake and that Elliot is actually working with her and they're both the bad guys, and he's got this like really melodramatic English accent, and it felt like, it reminded me of, does anyone remember the scene in Friends when Joey is working on Days of Our Lives with Susan Sarandon and she is going to be like leaving the show and he's taking over her character and he's kind of like trying to practice her voice? That's what that reminded me of. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments below, because that is what that scene reminded me of. It just felt like pantomime villain silliness. The stuff with the mask, where like the old man mask, where A was running about with that on, all of that just felt so like, and I know it sounds ridiculous to say over the top when we're talking about PLL, because everything in PLL is over the top, but it just felt like it had got silly. It had lost the creepy, uncomfortable edge that it always had and just become just nonsense. So that really bothered me. The Elliot thing, as I say, really bothered me. And there was one moment in the finale, I will give it its credit, there was a moment in the finale where I jumped out of my skin, and I know that lots of people did because everyone was tweeting about it, and I think that just goes to show, like, you never used to really get, like, if you were to tweet about every uncomfortable, creepy moment in an episode, it would take, like, most of the episode to tweet about, whereas now people were actually having to mention when there were creepy moments, so I think that says a lot. But it was when Ali was in her room and she turned around and our mum was standing there, although it wasn't our mum, it was Mary. That was really terrifying, and so, you know, thumbs up for that. But the rest of it was just ridiculous, silly, not creepy at all stuff. And then, as I say, the way that the main problem that I had was the way that they changed the friendships around, and they took some of my favourite characters in the show and made me not like them. Hannah and Caleb were my favourite couple in the show, and they were two of my favourite characters in the show, and by the end of the season I just didn't like either of them. I didn't feel any sense of happiness at them potentially getting back together. I feel like the storyline about their breakup was so poorly written. With Toby and Spencer, you could at least understand why they split up. Their breakup storyline was believable. Something sad happened that showed them that they were at different stages in their life and different places in their life, different geographical places in their life, and it just wasn't going to work anymore, and they drifted apart. And that seemed very natural and very sad, and it worked very, very well, I thought. And the scenes with Troy and Keegan in the dorm room, I think it was, when she was at college and they were talking about the potential baby and everything, were really heartbreaking and very, very nicely acted, and so that was fine. The Hannah and Caleb breakup storyline made absolutely no sense after all of the support he'd given her through everything throughout their entire relationship. The fact that he would act like a drama queen and stomp his feet about the fact that she was working a bit too hard on her dream career made no sense. It was totally out of character and I didn't believe it. The fact that that would lead for them to split up after 5 minutes when they've been through years worth of like seriously intense stuff together. And you know, even the fact that she supported him through trying to find his dad, everything that they have been through together suggested to me that they were in it for the long haul. And so the fact that they would split up over something so trivial, and then my most annoyed bit of all, I'm just letting loose here, I figured I've started now so I might as well, but the bit that annoyed me the most was the fact that she was behaving as if she would never be able to find him again. When she got back to the apartment, it was like, oh, I've changed my mind, all I want is you. And she got back to the apartment and she'd missed him, he'd left, and he'd left his phone behind. And it was as if, oh, well, you know, that's it. I'll never be able to contact Caleb ever again because he's left his phone behind. Did she not think maybe, oh, I don't know, I'll contact his family, or I'll contact Toby, or I'll contact someone else who will be able to get in contact with him via the wonders of the internet? No, she just put the phone down and looked all sad as if, oh, well, that's it, I've ruined things now, and then went off and got engaged to someone else. The whole thing was ludicrous. And then the fact that they then created this storyline between Caleb and Spencer, which to me was actually very believable. They were two characters who I felt had a real connection and in another life could have actually been a really nice couple. And I quite enjoyed some of the kind of romantic moments between them. But because they didn't properly break up Hannah and Caleb, it just constantly felt like it was never going to work, and so you never really properly bought into it. Then you had moments towards the end of the season where, you know, Caleb and Spencer looked as if they were really close and he looked like he really cared about her, and then she's telling him that she's in love with him, and then the minute Hannah appears she's all puppy dog eyes and, oh, I never wanted anyone but you. Which makes me really dislike him as a character because I loved him as a character, and then all of a sudden he is, you know, in a relationship with Spencer, which he knows is going to be an uncomfortable thing for Hannah. But he's willing to, you know, go there with Spencer and create a situation with her where she's developing real feelings for him, while all the time secretly pining for Hannah, and the minute he gets the opportunity to kiss her, he does it. Oh, it just all really riled me. And Hannah moping about and having a tantrum every 5 minutes and stomping her feet and telling Spencer to go for it with Caleb, but then telling her, actually, no, that's not what I wanted you to do. And Spencer, I'm always going to stick up for Spencer because she's my favourite character, but for her to put herself in a situation where it is going to knowingly hurt one of her best friends, which was completely out of character and she would never have done before, but for her to go there, she must have had real, genuine, serious feelings for him. And then there's scenes where Hannah's sitting on the couch with Caleb taking his hand and being like, oh, me and Caleb are such a team together. And Spencer just sat there and didn't say anything. And she would never have done that. Spencer's one of the most upfront people that you could meet. She would turn around and go, Hannah, there's a problem here. You're obviously very uncomfortable with this situation. Can we talk about it? Can we resolve it? And instead, she just sat there. She looked sad. She looked guilty. She looked uncomfortable. And then she would say to Emily or to Arya, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, go up and sit in between them? Oh, yeah, that's what you would do. If you genuinely believed that the relationship that you were in was okay and that you should be doing it and that Hannah's behaviour was inappropriate, if that's what you believed, you would go and do that. But you evidently don't because you think that the relationship is problematic, which it is. Right, okay. Those are my thoughts. My camera battery is flashing. I didn't realise I had hardly any battery left in it. So I'm just going to say just now, hopes for season 7. I really hope that they get it creepy again. And I think that they are going to, because from the look of the promo, it's very, very promising. And I wondered if I would watch 7 purely because I was so annoyed at 6. But I think I will because the promo looks very, very creepy and uncomfortable and dark, back to that kind of proper creepy tone that I'm talking about earlier on. That's what I want to see. I want to see more of that genuinely uncomfortable, creepy sort of vibes, back to good old original Pretty Little Liars style. So that's what I want. The fact that they've got Elliot with an English accent suggests to me that there may be some sort of hint of Rain coming back. I don't know if Julian Morris has time for this. He's very busy with Hand of God, so I don't know if he's going to have time to come back. But if he did, I would love that. I would love for Rain to reappear and for him to be Uber A and for that to all get explained. That to me would be what could potentially save this show at this point. I need an explanation about whether or not Cece was aware of her parentage, if she knew that her mum was not actually her mum, that she was her aunt, and that Jason and Ali were her cousins, not her siblings. I don't think that she was, but I feel like we need an explanation about that, whether or not she knew that Mary Drake existed. So that needs to be explained. I kind of just hope that Ari and Asia are now in it for the long haul. I just feel like they just need to be together forever now, and that's fine. So I hope that they just continue to be together. And I hope that Emily finds someone nice. I know there's a lot of Emerson shippers out there hoping for that. You know, I don't think I would hugely mind that at the very, very end, because I know that it would make a lot of people happy. Personally, because of the way that Ali has behaved throughout all of the seasons from the very beginning, I'm still never 100% sure how I feel about her, but I do think that Emily deserves to be happy, and if that's what would make her happy, then I think that I would be on board with that. So let me know in the comments down below, how did you feel about 6B and what are your hopes for season 7? Who do you think Uber A is? Do you think it's going to be Rain? Do you hope it's going to be Rain? Let me know in the comments down below, and I hope that you've been having a really good week. Let's hope that the first episode of season 7 is back to its best, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye!
Really difficult.
It is, because I love them both.
And you met one of them.
But I haven't met Hugh Jackman. Maybe if I met him, sparks would fly. Remember that film?